I see one person. That could be just me. Let me get myself situated on the laptop here so I can follow along with chat. And hopefully this is going to... Why am I crooked? As you can see, I am out on the porch and it's like 85 or something, so a little warm for my taste, but let's see, is this, there I go. Okay, now I'm live officially on my own laptop. Hello folks, I hope you are doing well. Hope you're enjoying the background. I am again out on the porch because if you know anything about the saga that's been going on with the air conditioner and whatnot, we had to have 2 of our rooms basically dismantled. The ceilings are gone in both. The floors are gone in one. So we have everything crammed into the living room, kitchen, dining room area. That's where Paul's office now is. So I've been trying to work around that and still do videos. That's why I had done a couple of truck talks. And then we kind of figured out that Paul was willing. Well, we didn't figure out Paul was willing. Paul said he was willing to put on his earbuds and try to keep it quiet while I was recording. He did really well on the coffee cake video that came out yesterday. Could hear a little tippy-tappy typing in there, but mild. And there was one time where he coughed and then kind of reacted. And I was like, no, you're fine. I can take a break. I can edit that out, so no worries. So I was able to do another food video, finally another recipe, which, I mean, that's the name of the channel, right? Recipes with Roy. You want a recipe. So hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm doing fairly well. I've actually been, and I don't think I mentioned this in the last live chat. I know in like the Slimwin group on Facebook, and those are linked down below in the description box, the Facebook groups that I'm part of. Hi Sharon, how are you? But in that group, I was talking about guided imagery, which is kind of like meditation, but you kind of focus. So I was thinking, I do have recordings from when I saw a hypnotist. He gave me recordings to help me while I was away. Well, that's good, Sharon. While we were in between sessions, I mean, not away. And so I've started listening to those again. A friend of mine in the Slimwin group and also in the Recipes with Roy group, Rachel, told me about an app called Balance. And that is kind of like a meditation. They give you a free year to try it. And then I think it's like $70 after that. I wouldn't pay. I can't afford to pay that. But I was trying that out for free for a year. So I will wake up and do like little quick meditations. They're like 5-minute meditations focusing on breathing. And I noticed that throughout the day, I would start, when I started getting a little antsy, because I have a lot of anxiety. I've talked about this before. I deal with anxiety issues. And that, the past few days has really helped me to lessen the anxiety, which in turn actually lessened my binge eating. So I think that might be working for me, getting me back on track. So we shall see. You won't be able to tell that from this week's weigh-in. It was down, luckily, but it was only down 0.4. But it's still down, so I'll take it. So over the past 2 weeks since I last saw you, I'm down 1 pound because I was down 0.6 last week. So, you know, I'll take it. It's something I hope, fingers crossed, I hope that this week is going to be better, but we shall see. And while I'm thinking about it, if you are watching this after, in the replay, you may want to wait until the next day because often the chat on the side is not going to be visible for a day. I don't know why YouTube can't catch up. Hey, Dormouse. Hi, Nikki. Nikki, there she is. I've got, oh, now I'm playing stuff. This laptop pad, I like using a mouse. I don't like these pads. They're way too sensitive for me. I do have Nikki's channel here, if I can figure out how to copy and paste with this little, whatever you call it, little pad. And let me see, Nikki is doing calorie counting. What am I doing? I hit something. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm no good with these little, whatever you call them, because they're very sensitive. All right, so there's Nikki's channel. She is doing calorie counting. And she just got back from vacation, so she's getting herself back on track. And job well done, Nikki, on getting back on track. And I'm telling you, those candies, that little favorite mix, that was my kind of thing. It looked so good. Hey, Gina, you made it. How are you? So I did ask in the Facebook group and in, oh, Ro, there's Ro. I had to go out, in and out because I was not able to comment. Oh, well, we definitely want you to comment, Ro. All right, so now let's see if I can do Ro's channel without messing anything up. We shall see. I mean, it won't mess up anything recording because you're on the phone, but I may not see what I'm supposed to be doing because I am not technically savvy. Okay. And there is Ro's channel. She hasn't recorded for a little bit because she's been dealing with some things at home, trying to get herself back on track. And I bet they were yummy, Nikki. They look so good. And I love that it was a mixture. Oh, you're back on Slimming World, Ro? Yeah, I saw you just posted a video like 25 minutes ago, but I haven't been able to watch it yet because I was getting ready for this. Yeah, that mix looked good. And that's what I love. I love a mix of candies or things because you don't know what you're going to want. So that kind of thing, right up my alley. But in case, I don't know who came in late, who, what have you. Oh, I already mentioned wait for the live to show up, the chat on the side so you know what's going on. Not just listening to me, but you can actually see the chat. Hey, Kathy. Yeah, so, oh, and if you wouldn't mind, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that as well. I did say earlier for those who, hey, Denise. Oh yeah, that looks so good. I was like very jealous. I'm also kind of glad that we didn't have that here in the U.S. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. Oh, it's all gone already? Oh. Well, I guess I can't have you send me any leftovers. But hey, Rachel, you made it. So nice to see you here. So anyways, I had gone. It is nice. I was mentioning, Kathy, that it's about 85, so it's a little too hot for me. For me, the perfect temperature year-round would be like 70 to 75. That would be ideal. But this one's not bad, so I'll take it. I'm in the shade. I think that's what's been happening. Mima. Hello, Mima. Hi, Lori. I have Mima's channel ready and raring to go. You can check out Mima. She does WW, Weight Watchers. I don't know what they're calling themselves now. I think they're back to Weight Watchers. But I have her channel ready, and she has lost and maintained quite a bit of weight. So if you're looking for some inspiration, Mima has it for you. And there is her channel. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying her channel, Sharon. That's nice. Um, I also watched you yesterday and today, but haven't got to. Okay. Um, all right. So I'm so scattered. I was saying I did my weigh-in already. Mentioned that I was down zero point 0.4 this week, down zero point 0.6 last week, so down 1 pound since my last live, which isn't much, but it's in the right direction. And I was also mentioning, for those of you who are in the Slim Win chat, like Ro, Rachel, etc., that I started doing some of the hypnosis tapes and things like that. I tried the Balance app, Rachel, that you had talked about, and did the meditations in the morning to go, to wake up, to try to get my day started off right. I did some old hypnosis tapes that my hypnotist, when I had gone years ago, had given me, and I still have. He'd given me things to keep me going throughout the week. So I've been listening to those, and it's actually been helpful. As I've mentioned, I started noticing throughout the day I'd be more aware of my breath and kind of like calming breaths. I haven't had as much anxiety as usual. I still had some, especially like when I was trying to edit yesterday's video. I sometimes get anxious sitting in one place for so long, thanks ADD. But I think it's been really helpful, and I've been back on track. I haven't really been tracking yet. I did start tracking and then stopped again, but I've been eating well. So I think next week will be a better outcome, although I've been losing gradually, but it's been very slow. But I've also not been really on track, so fingers crossed that next time it's much better. Anyway, I had asked for questions from you guys, and I asked in the Facebook group, and I asked here on the channel in the community. Let me grab a little sippy poo. I don't know why I said sippy poo. Anyway, so I have those questions here to go over, and I figured Sharon would be here because she asked a couple of questions, so I figured she had to be here. But I'll just go in the order that I had them listed. On YouTube, Marilyn asked, what was the moment that started you on your weight loss? When did you decide to share your journey during your weight loss and get started doing your YouTube channel? Well, I did, because of my physical issues. I have neuropathy and myopathy, just in case anyone doesn't know. It's all yours. Sippy poo. Use it when you like, Nikki. I started having issues, physical issues, and I'll go over it quickly. The first thing I noticed was I was having difficulty picking up one of my legs to put my pants on. I thought that was a little weird, but nothing that big. And then I'm out on the porch, which is on the second floor. So we keep our recycling bins up here. I used to come over here once I got the recycling down to the thing and the trashman took it, come over and throw the bin back up on the porch. I couldn't do it anymore. It kept barely getting up to the top. Then I was walking with a friend of mine at work, and my foot would suddenly slap on the ground when I was walking, and I was like, I've never noticed that before. Hi, Chris. I've never noticed it before. I don't know. Sometimes I think things happen and I'm just not aware of them, which Paul would probably agree with. But he said, no, that is definitely different, and that's not normal. So then I made an appointment with my doctor. He said I just had a pinched nerve in my lower spine and go to physical therapy. Went to physical therapy, things were just getting worse. And I fell altogether over the first year or two. I fell probably 6 or 7 times and could not get back up because my legs would just scream like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So, and at that time I was about 307 pounds or so. So I knew I had to do something to lose some weight because I was having enough issues with my nerves and muscles not wanting to work correctly. Having the extra weight wasn't helping. So what I planned on first was I talked to my neurologist and said I need to do something, and he said he could recommend me for weight loss surgery. So I was going through the classes here in Massachusetts. You have to go through like 6 weeks of classes to train yourself to get ready for what you're going to need to do. And the first thing they want you to do is to start eating the way that you're going to have to eat after you have the surgery, because you're going to have a smaller stomach. You're going to have to eat smaller portions, smaller bites, chew more thoroughly, that kind of thing. So I started practicing that, and then ended up losing too much weight just from doing that to actually get the surgery, which I'm actually glad about. I didn't have to go through the surgery. But I needed something to motivate me to keep going. So that's when I joined WW Weight Watchers. And it was March 2020. And I made it to one in-person meeting before the pandemic shut everything down. And then I went virtual. But because I was so used to being at home, because I'd been forced to retire from teaching because of the neuropathy and myopathy, because I was used to being at home, it didn't bother me as much doing the virtual meetings as it did for some people who were more into the in-person meetings. So anyways, I did that. Then I was losing weight, doing well. I was on the blue plan. And then there were some issues with WW and some of their ambassadors that they had on YouTube, some of the some of the products they were pairing up with. There were some like racial issues that they weren't addressing and things like that. There was a whole group of people who ended up jumping ship and deciding I'm leaving WW because they're not taking any accountability for any of this and yada yada. So I figured I would do the same. Plus, being on a fixed income with disability, it was kind of pricey. So then I found back then it was called iTrack Bites. Now it's Healthy app. And so I switched over to that. They had a plan called Better Balance, which was the same thing as the blue plan. So I didn't really have to change anything. And so I kept going with that. And that's how I reached goal was with the Healthy app. Then over the past year or so, oh, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. You then asked how I started doing YouTube and sharing this. So what happened was, I was watching a lot of YouTubers. I was I can't edit anything out in these, so you're getting the real thing. Hey, Lizard. So I was watching Dish with D, Balancing Life with Bree, Jennifer Lynn, the WW Gays, they were calling themselves at the time. Now, I don't even know if they're still doing their YouTube channel. I know they're doing Facebook stuff. They were calling themselves the Wellness Warriors for a while and things. Hi, Jan. So I started watching a lot of YouTubers, and I ended up getting friendly in chats with Bree, Jennifer Lynn, and Dee. And I joined Dee's Facebook group, so I would chat in there sometimes. I would talk with Bree and Jennifer Lynn all the time. And I was really close with Bree. We really connected. So, hey, Vicky. Um, so Bree and I were chatting. We would talk. Um, we ended up exchanging phone numbers and yada yada, getting, I mean, pretty close. And so I would send her recipes that I had come up with, and she would share a few on the channel. But she said, you know, you should really do your own channel where you can share all of your recipes that are helping you with your weight loss. And I am a very introverted person. I was panicked at the idea of presenting myself to the world in that way. Paul said it was a great idea. He ended up buying some camera equipment. He wanted to try to have our grandson Brian, who many of you have seen in some of the videos, even a couple of lives. He wanted him to do a channel, but that didn't quite work out too well. So we had the equipment. I then procrastinated like crazy and was doing a lot of research on what I had to do, how to edit a video, yada yada. I was really kind of dragging my feet, basically. Then I finally broke down and did it, and the rest is history. Bernadette, Iowa, welcome. So I think that answer, I mean, I hope after all that long answer that answered the question. Let me and started doing YouTube. Yeah, so Bree kind of pushed me, probably because she was like, stop sending me your recipes to do on my channel, do them yourself. I doubt she was like that, but Tamara, hi. And oh, and I mentioned it to Jennifer Lynn because we were connecting pretty well as well. So she said you should definitely do it. Then I was talking with Dee and her crew in the Dish with Dee chat on Facebook, and they were like, oh, you definitely should do it. So it was actually in Dish with Dee's group that we came up with the name, because I figured she's Dish with Dee. So I said, oh, recipes with Roy, and that's how the name came up. So that's how I got the channel, that's how I got the name. Very long-winded way of telling you that, I'm sure, but hey, we have some time here together, so it's okay. Now, Nikki, I'm going to answer your question. Nikki in a vlog asked on YouTube, first she said, thank you for all you do in the Slim Win group. You're welcome. My question is, when you have a bad food day, what do you do to make it easier? Also, what's your go-to breakfast, lunch, and dinner? When I have a bad food day, it is, Jan, I think so. And it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, things happen for a reason, I guess. So who knows? I wish I hadn't had the muscle and nerve issues, but, you know, it is what it is. I've actually had my doctor, when I was seeing my first neurologist, who I loved, he was like, you always come in here so chipper and cheerful and joking and whatnot. And he goes, most of my patients come in here and it's doom and gloom. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Just wallow in it? Because, you know, I can't do anything about it. So what's the sense in just dwelling on it? Thank you, Jan. I think so too. And that's, as I mentioned in like the last live, I believe, one of the lives recently, someone had asked what my favorite thing about doing the channel was, and it really is meeting all of the people that have either supported my channel or who I've met on YouTube, like Mima and Ro and Nikki and Stephanie, who is not here, Stephanie. But so Yeah, I definitely agree. Um, and yeah, so speaking of the Slim Win chat, as Nikki mentioned, um, we do, it's kind of like Zoom. We do it in the Slim Win group. We also do it every other Monday in my Recipes with Roy Facebook group. So we do live chats on this platform called Jitsi, and there's nothing to download. So if anyone wants to join in the groups, they're linked down below, and you can join in on the live chats. They're live video chats, just like Zoom. But as I said, nothing to download. You can download the app on your phone if you really want to, but you don't have to. You can still do it through a browser. But if you want to join in, you want a little support, I come up with a topic every time, and our next Recipes with Roy, actually, both of them will be up on this Monday. We do Slim Win chats now Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. in the UK, because a lot of the Slim Win chatters are from the UK. And the Recipes with Roy group is every other Monday. So when you see a live, that following Monday is going to be a chat, and mine are at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which I think would be 12:30 in the UK. But if anyone wants to join, go check out the links in the description box. So back to Nikki's question. When I'm having a bad food day, what I try to do, and it doesn't always work, as we all know, nothing's 100% with this, but I do my best, is, hi Anna Maria, is I don't beat myself up about it. That's the number one key for me, because I have found if I start beating myself up because I ate those things I really shouldn't, I way overindulged, that's going to make me feel like just depressed or mad at myself or what have you, which is going to make me want to comfort myself. And what am I going to comfort myself with but more food? So I try not to beat myself up about it. Oh no, Anna Maria, I've heard that that is a challenge. I know my friend Kim over at A Girl in Her Phone, she had her knees replaced, and she did have a little time to get that. That is so weird, Ro. I don't know why you're having trouble commenting. Um, Let me take another sip while we're... Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Anna Maria. So yeah, that's my number one thing, is don't beat yourself up over it. It's going to happen. We all have those moments. Oh, thank you. This was made by my friend Wendy over at Wendy's Wellness Journey. She has a Facebook group where she sells these things, but she graciously made it for me as a little gift. That was very nice. Bree is not on. I was hoping she would show up, but I think she's got a lot going on with the wedding coming up and other things. I think they were actually going away this weekend, if I remember correctly. So Bree is not on, unfortunately. But I just saw Nikki commented something, so let me switch back over. I used to beat myself up over it, but now I don't. I just draw the line and start fresh. Yes, that's what you have to do. I'm glad she's back on YouTube as well, Anna Maria. It was me pushing her to do that live with me like a couple of months back. That got her back into it, so I'm glad she's doing it. She's going to be doing a book club live, and I told her if she wants me to be on it with her as like her moderator so I could read the questions to her or what have you, I would do that. But so far, she hasn't confirmed anything yet. So, yeah, not beating myself up is the number one thing. Then, like you said, Nikki, I try to rein it in, try to get myself back in focus. And now with those breathing techniques and that guided imagery type of thing, I think that's really helping to calm my anxiety, which is when I tend to eat, when I'm like, what am I doing? What's happening? And, that kind of thing. So I think that's been helping me a lot lately as well. Now, what's your go-to breakfast, lunch, and dinner? For breakfast during the week, Paul and I have usually yogurt. I do like 1 bite's point worth of yogurt. I do the Dan and Layton Fit vanilla Greek yogurt. And we split a banana between us each, 2 strawberries chopped up and some blueberries, mix those up. Paul's I top with a little granola, mine I top with some Cheerios, so I get more crunch and fewer bites. I only do like 1 bite or points worth. Yeah, I never tried the purple plan, Sharon. I don't know, but I guess it is similar to Slim Win. So if you like that, I know Slim Win is not here in the U.S., so Ro has to kind of finagle things a little bit. Yeah, I love the balance. I've done quite a few of them, Rachel, and like I like waking up to them. Today I did an extra bonus one, which was for energy. I don't know if you've done that one where you do they call it breath of fire, where it's like you breathe like fast. And I actually do feel slightly more energetic, but I really do think that type of meditation, guided imagery, hypnosis, whatever it is, helps me to relax and helps keep me in check. Okay, so that's the breakfast I usually have during the week. On the weekends, I usually play around. Sometimes I'll do some French toast. Sometimes I'll do breakfast sandwiches. Sometimes I'll do pancakes. Sometimes I'll just do eggs, bacon. And I always use center cut bacon because that is leaner than the regular. You can have a little bit more. Oh yeah, I know there were some at night, Rachel. I just haven't gotten to those because we usually go to bed late. Like if I were going to bed first and Paul was still going to be up, I would do it. But just doing the ones that I've been doing, I think has really been helpful. So I really do appreciate you mentioning that app to me. For lunch, typically during the day, the weekdays. No, Bernadette, I'm in Massachusetts. So, I mean, close enough. We're not that far apart. But it's like it's supposed to be like 85, but I'm sitting in the shade, so it's a little cooler. I would not be able to sit in the sun. I'm feeling the warmth, but not feeling that heat on me. For lunch, I do typically during the week, if we don't have leftovers from dinner, which sometimes we do, so we'll have those for lunch. But if not, what I like to do is I take some, oh, Anna Maria, I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad you came in. Have fun while you go out. I hope you have a good time. Is I will make sandwiches. Dormouse. I used to enjoy cold weather swimming and the breathing exercise. Scotland, North Sea, chilly, ice cold shower, just not the same. I don't deal well with extremes. So cold, no thanks. You too, Anna Maria, thank you. So cold is not my thing. Heat is not my thing. So that's why I love fall, because it's like cooling down after the summer, but not so cold yet that it's bothersome or I don't want to go out in it. I also like spring as well. That's my second favorite, but fall, that's my ultimate. Anyway, back to my sandwiches. I do 2 pieces of low bite, low point, low calorie bread. I like the Sara Lee 45. I also like the, what is it? I can't remember if it's, oh, Nature's Own sugar-free, I believe it is. That one's pretty good as well. I tried one, it was a keto one. I think it was from um, the Sara Lee. I think they have a keto one. I didn't like that one as much. It didn't toast up as well. I don't know. Didn't like it as much. But those are the breads I usually do. And then I do 2 ounces of these thinly sliced cold cuts. I think I do usually Hillshire Farm, sometimes Oscar Mayer, the ones that come in the little plastic tubs, not from the deli, but in the cold section, the meat section, or what have you. 2 ounces of that is 1 bite or point. The bread for 2 slices is 2. I usually put like a little spicy mustard. I know some people don't like mustard, and I don't get it, but that's your thing. That's your prerogative. Do put what you want on it. And then like a slice of fat-free cheese, which I get at one of our local stores, Stop and Shop. And as I had told Ro a long time ago about finding it, it looks just like the regular one. I don't know why stores do this. It looks just like the regular one, and you see fat-free just in, like, you have to really hunt for it in the title. It's kind of hidden. They should really embolden it and let you see this is fat-free cheese. But anyways, 1 slice of that is 0, so I usually do that. And that's what I'll have, maybe with a few pretzels, like 2 bites worth of pretzels, something like that. Now dinner, I do like to experiment and play around, but when I'm pressed for time, like if I've gone out shopping, usually I get back late. And if I'm pressed for time or just want something quick and easy, I have 2 go-tos. One is my mac and cheese steak. Hannaford has the fat-free cheese too. Oh, they do. Yeah. I don't know why. Our Hannaford left, and now we have a Big Y, which I like Big Y, but I'm not sure why Hannaford left here, but apparently, I don't know. But I did like Hannaford. I wish it was still around, but yeah, they have it. Stop and Shop has it, and I know Price Chopper or something 54. I don't know. The one I have is Price Chopper. They also have their own, but sometimes you can find it. You just have to really look at that label to make sure, because Ro didn't even know they had the fat-free cheese at Stop and Shop until I said you really have to scrutinize, and then she found it. Anyway, for dinner, like I said, the Market 54, that's it. Thank you, Ro. How far from Burlington, Vermont? I'm heading that way early September from Iowa. Burlington, I mean, I don't actually know. I could probably search it, I guess. I don't know how far that is, but I know I used to have an aunt who lived in Burlington a very long time ago. I honestly don't know if her kids are still there. Yeah, the mac and cheese steak that I make, that's a go-to because it's quick and easy. And wait a minute, where? Oh, there it is. And the other one I do is I love to do some turkey kielbasa or smoked sausage. Hillshire Farms has some really good turkey kielbasa or smoked sausage. And I slice that up and serve it with mini pierogies and some onion. And usually I'll use like Skinny Girl dressing, like the honey mustard, and use that as the sauce. That is really, if you need a quick and easy sauce, a lot of the time dressings are a great way to change up your sauce and do something a little different. I do it all the time. But those are my typical dinners. But the mac and cheese steak is so fast and easy. I love it. I'm trying to see. Okay, there. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Anyway, let's just say I don't know how far it is from Burlington. I was trying to see if I could search, but I can't figure out what I'm doing here. Yes, thank you, Jan. Thumbs up, everyone. Oh yeah, the poppy seed dressing also, Mima. I like that. And Ro had asked me for a Thousand Island dressing, so I came up with a version, and I'm going to tweak it a little bit more, Ro. So it's not quite ready yet. I think I need to just alter a few little things. But I also did. You're very welcome, Nikki. Um, I also did a honey mustard, a creamy honey mustard, and those will be coming up in an upcoming video soon. And I do have other dressings like my avocado green goddess and what's the other one? I have another one on there. I don't remember what it is. But so I do have some dressings that I do like to use, but every once in a while just grabbing a bottle is so much easier. Oh, it is, Gina? All right, well, I'm hoping you're going to love this one. I do get requests for recipes. You were, but I didn't send it to you yet, Rose, so don't feel bad, because I know you had a lot going on. So I didn't send it to you yet. I'm going to tweak a little bit first, and then I'll send it to you, and you can give it a try. Oh, you like Thousand Island too, Mima? Yeah, that seems to be a popular one, and it's really great on like burgers or sandwiches and things like that. But these dressings that are coming up are very easy, so, and tasty. All right, so next question is coming from Dormouse, who is here. If you were stuck on a deserted island, what book would you take? I think one of my favorites. Oh yeah, Ro, that sounds like a great idea. But yes, I will send you that recipe. So for a book, see, I have trouble picking favorites. Ultimately, I do have a few favorites. To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorites. But honestly, I think the one book I've read over and over is Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I could read that thing. I haven't read it in a couple of years, but I've probably read it like 12 times since it came out in like the 70s. So it's not like I read it all the time, but it is one of my favorites. And I've heard that they're coming out with a new series, short series, limited series or whatever for it. So fingers crossed they do a good job, because the one that they did back in the 70s, I mean, I know they were doing it for TV, so they were kind of limited in what they could get away with, but yeah, I watched it, I liked it, but didn't do the book justice. And Nikki, you like honey mustard? Well, there's a good one coming your way. Actually, I can send you the recipe ahead of time if you want to try it out and let me know what you think. All right, so the book, it would probably be Salem's Lot, although I do love To Kill a Mockingbird. What music would you have? I love country music, but I'm actually going to say musicals, because I love the variety in musicals. I love, oh, for sure, Mima, I totally agree. I love Stephen King. He was the person I wanted to write like growing up. But musicals give me a good variety of music, all sorts of things. I just love watching musicals. Typical gay man, right? But Paul, he does not see what the appeal is of a musical. So he is not the typical gay man. But I'm also not typical for enjoying country as much as I do. So those would be the two. But if I had to pick one, I would go with musicals. And if I had to pick one musical, that would be a tough one. I love Little Shop of Horrors. I love The Greatest Showman, I don't know. That would be tough, but if I could take like a playlist, it would be musicals. Um, what would be my luxury item? It would have to be an air conditioner or fan or something like that because I do not do well with heat. Paul and I are kind of opposites. If I'm comfortable, he's freezing. And if he's comfortable, I'm hot. So trying to find a balance is sometimes difficult. But if I was on a deserted island, I would need some sort of fan, air conditioner, something so that I wasn't suffering in the heat because that would be the worst. And fingers crossed that you can join, and apparently you could. So I'm glad you were able to make it, Dormouse. Now Stephanie, who is not here, but I will share her channel anyway, because I'm just that nice of a guy, and she did ask a question, is she's also part of the Slim Win group, and she has lost and maintained quite a bit of weight. She is on a maintenance journey and doing extremely well. She shares a lot about her life and her foods and things like that. For sure, Nikki, I do not, I cannot stand the heat. Mima, in my former life, I participated in many musicals, would have loved to have done Phantom, but never had that opportunity. I go around, when I'm in the shower, I have Alexa playing my musicals playlist, and I have a variety of everything from all over the place, from the Addams Family to Little Shop of Horrors to Mean Girls, whatever it is. I don't know this. Oh, all right. If I had to pick one show that I would watch, I am going to go see Little Shop of Horrors in Agunquit at the end of this month. But if I had one show I really want to see, it's called Something Rotten. And I don't know if you've heard of it because it wasn't on Broadway for very long, but it does have a good run traveling around. And it's about a writer in Shakespearean times who's like jealous of Shakespeare, and Shakespeare's this like rock star, and the music in that is hysterical. I would love to see that. If I had to pick only one musical, that's probably the music I would take from that musical. I love cold. My husband loves the heat. Ergo, our house runs cold. I figure he can put on layers. That's what I say, Dormouse. It's like, I can't take off my skin to get any cooler. You could put on a little sweater or something to get yourself warmed up. I mean, it's only fair. But, those are the struggles. Paul loves Fiddler on the Roof, Mima. That's one of his favorites. He doesn't like a lot of musicals. It's not his thing, but that he would go see. The last Broadway show that I went to, the last show that I went to wasn't on Broadway, but the last show that I went to was Book of Mormon. Loved it. My brother took me to see that a few years back. It was before the pandemic. The last Broadway show I went to see was, I love Grease too, Nikki. The last Broadway show I went and see, I think it was when I took my niece to see Hairspray, which I also love. I had also taken her to see The Little Mermaid when they tried to do a live stage performance, which mixed reviews on that. Didn't do as well as The Lion King has done. But so I think the last one I saw actually on Broadway was Hairspray, and the last show I saw was Book of Mormon. Moulin Rouge, another good one. All right, so now back to Stephanie's question. I did share her channel, right? Yes, I did. All right, so Stephanie, see, I shared it even though you weren't here. Where did you and Paul meet? Who asked who out? And are you married? Sending hugs. Well, Paul and I met online. I was working in Connecticut because I lived in Connecticut before I moved up here to Massachusetts. And I worked the second shift. Excuse me one moment. I worked second shift. So I got home probably around 1 o'clock in the morning because their shifts were a little different at the casino. And so I'd get home and I'd decompress by going online. So I was looking in some of the online meeting, like, what do they call them? Like, not romance things, but you know what I'm saying. See, I'm stepping aside again to respond to Nikki. I liked the music. I liked the movie Hairspray, but I just thought John Travolta was the wrong choice for the mother. It was too disconcerting, like seeing him in the makeup it was too noticeable. If they had chosen someone like Harvey Fierstein, who'd been in there on Broadway, or even George Wendt, who was Norm in Cheers, he played the mother when I saw it on Broadway. But something like that would have made it much better for me. Seeing John Travolta in that makeup, that's all I could see that's John Travolta in a lot of makeup. So I liked the movie, but I loved the musical. If John Travolta hadn't been there, sorry if he was your favorite part of it, but I think it would have been better for me. All right, so back to our meeting. What is Stephanie here? I did not see her pop in. If she is, I know I shared her channel, but that doesn't mean she's here, if that's why you were saying hi, Stephanie. No, okay. I'm sorry I threw you off, Ro. Stephanie's not here. I just shared her channel because this question is from her. And now let me get back to answering it. So, as I was saying, I got home late. I like to sit on the computer, play around. I decided to search I guess it's like a dating app, but it was a website. So I saw Paul's picture, and it was a picture of him sitting at a desk. I don't know what it was. There was something that drew me to that picture, to him. But I was exhausted. I didn't want to sit there and write up a whole thing. So I was going to close down the computer. But I thought, I might not ever find this profile again. So let me just send a quick message just to establish a connection. So I just sent a quick thing saying, hi, I know this is going to be quick. I am really tired. I'm going to have to go to bed, but I wanted to connect with you because I saw your profile and it intrigued me, what have you, blah, blah, blah. So then he wrote back to me, and we actually corresponded back and forth online for about 3 months before I actually came up here to visit with him. And he had a house full of people. He had his son living here, Brian's father. He wasn't Brian's father at the time. He was much younger then. This was 24 years ago. He had some friends who stayed here, who rented rooms, what have you. So it wasn't like it was just me and him. So it was kind of like more casual, which was nice because it didn't feel any pressure. And so he is big into online gaming. I was not, but one of the things he did when I came up was to show me how to play a game. And so it was just kind of fun and relaxed and interesting. So I don't know if one of us really asked the other out. I mean, I'm assuming because we'd chatted for so long, we'd talked about meeting up together, and Paul suggested coming up here. So, oh, you did? You met Mark online, Nikki? That's awesome. Yeah, there's nothing against I mean, if you're going to meet a creep, you're going to meet a creep no matter where. You can meet him in live, in a bar, in church, in wherever. There are bad people all over the place. So just because it's online doesn't mean it's going to be a bad situation. Anyways, I don't think either one of us asked each other out. I think we were just talking and it came up to visit him here. And are you married? No, we're not. I proposed to him maybe 9-10 years ago. And we were at first like, well, it's a piece of paper, yada yada. But now as we're getting older, we're thinking more about it. My biggest problem was I didn't want to be responsible if something happened to him for his bills. And I found out that Massachusetts, if it's in his name, it's his stuff. It's not a joint custody or joint, I don't know what the hell they call it. You know what I'm talking about, where I would be responsible for crap he did. The other problem is I want to make sure that I can keep my Medicare and my Mass Health, which is how I get all of my medications, all of my doctor's appointments. I don't want to mess that up because everything is perfect with that. So I'm looking into making sure that it's not going to affect that as well. It shouldn't affect the Medicare, but it may affect the Mass Health, which helps me cover my co-pays because I am on disabled income. So anyway, so we're not married, but we are thinking about it, considering it, planning on it, maybe at some point. But anyways, there's that answer. All right, now, Sharon, hopefully you're still here because I haven't even gotten to your questions, and I should have started them first if you had to leave. I hope you didn't have to leave. But Sharon on Facebook, I'm going to take another sip because I've been talking a lot. Sharon on Facebook, hi Roy, you may have answered this before in another video, but do you use the healthy secondary metrics for following calories and macros, or do you just count bites? If the calories are too low, do you then follow calories to eat enough? I do use the secondary metric. Well, let's say I have the secondary metrics activated for calories. I don't really understand macros and what I should have, what I shouldn't have. I could look into it, but that's too much work for me. So I don't really follow the calories because I don't input zero bite foods. So the calories are going to be off anyway because of that. So I don't really judge by that, but I know I've seen a lot of people talk about they could be at the right points, but be under in calories. And your body's going to respond to that by storing fat because it thinks it's going into starvation mode. I haven't had that issue, but I do have secondary metrics of calories that I can kind of gauge. But again, as I said, if it's zero, that's part of the reason I like the WW and healthy things is I don't have to track everything. If I did, it would make me nuts. That's why I really have to applaud Nikki for counting calories because if I had to count every single thing I did, it would make me insane. More insane. But no, so I don't really check the calories, but I do have them listed there. And then Sharon also sent in another question. What worked for you when you hit a plateau? Honestly, when I hit a plateau, the thing that really helped me was not worrying about it. Because everybody hits plateaus, and in one of the live chats that we did, we were actually talking about why your body may be hitting a plateau. And it's that your body, you've just dropped, say, 75 pounds. Your body is kind of like, okay, wait a minute, I don't know what's going on here. I need to recalibrate and get myself situated. So it kind of like puts a pause on everything so that, okay, this is it. Oh, I'm sure you do, Nikki. That would make me insane. And I'm glad you were here, Sharon. Um, but yeah, so when I hit a plateau, I just don't worry about it. I keep doing what I have to do. Oh, you met James online? I didn't know that, Ro. AOL. Wow. Yep, 22 years ago. See, Paul and I are 24 years, so that was the time for it, I guess. But yeah, so Sharon, I don't really worry about plateaus. Um, Kim, hi, how are you? I hope. Let me find Kim's channel for you. I did not have hers pulled up. Um, Kim is also on a weight loss journey, and Kim has been having some issues to deal with lately, and I hope that things are going okay, Kim. I know that had to be, it still has to be kind of a stressful experience that you're going through. Um, Here is Kim's channel. Um, Paste. So yeah, Kim's also on a journey. You can go over there, check out her channel, see what she's been dealing with the past few days. And you're really doing fairly well considering all that you're going through, Kim. Oh, I bet it's tough. I mean, I can't even imagine. Believe me, I've dated some winners, winners, um, and I can't even imagine. But I was talking to Paul about it, about what I saw on your channel, and I don't understand why. I mean, I have enough trouble doing one relationship. I don't understand how somebody can be in all these different relationships lying to people. I don't know. Check out Kim's channel if you want to know what we're talking about. It's a lot. All right, our final question is from Lori from Facebook. And Lori's unfortunately not here. Hopefully she'll be in the meeting on Monday. She says, my degree is in home economics and I love recipe testing. My question is, how many times does it take to get a recipe you are happy with? Do you write it first or do you throw it together and see what happens? I guess that's two questions. So yes, it is two questions, but that's perfectly fine. They kind of interconnect there. Oh, I think we have a delivery. Somebody's here. So anyways, so how many times often it takes maybe, I mean, and I'm not saying this to be braggadocious or anything, but typically 1 or 2 times, unless it's like a baking recipe. Those I may have to finagle a little bit more because baking is much more precise than cooking. But usually 1 or 2 times, because I've been doing things for so long, I kind of know what goes together and how to prepare what. So typically 1 to 2 for just cooking. If it's for baking, definitely more. All right, Rachel, I hope that I will see you in the Recipes with Roy chat or Slimwin chat tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, Monday. I'm rushing the week. Do you write it down first? No, I don't. What I will often do, if it's something like something specific that someone asked for, thank you, Chris, you too. Oh, I get stressed all the time, Nikki. Doesn't take much to stress me out. That's why the meditation and breathing exercises have really been helpful. But sounds like they just hit something. So I don't write it down. What I do, like Beth, another subscriber, asked me to replicate the Olive Garden. I guess they have a 5-cheese marinara. I've never had it. So I had to go online and find recipes for it and then play around with it and see what was, you know, what I wanted to take from each recipe. So a lot of times what I'll do is compile a bunch of recipes, if it's something like that, something specific, and try to take what I think works best from each of them. Now, we had the 5 cheese marinara last night. I'm going to change the name to cheesy marinara because I don't know what the original tastes like, so I don't know how accurate it is to it. So I don't want to call it 5 cheese marinara, claiming it's like Olive Garden when I don't really know what it is. You do, Nikki. Check out that Balance app, or that one's really good because they're really short, brief, but I find them really helpful. I mean, just for those short times that I'm doing them each day, I really find it very helpful. So I do cobble things together. We tried what I came up with last night, and it was good. It was really good. So I am going to share it soon, but I'm not calling it five. Oh yeah, you use Balance also? I love it. So I'm not going to call it, like I said, 5 cheese marinara and claim it's like Olive Garden because I've never tried it. But I do like what I did come up with, so I'll be sharing that soon. And technically, it doesn't have 5 cheeses because part of it is Alfredo and part of it is Parmesan, but Alfredo is pretty much Parmesan, so it's really not 5 cheeses if I want to be that nitpicky. Hi, Barbara. In their online recipes that I found, they were using like Fontina and Asiago and things like that, which I didn't want to use to keep bites and points down, but I did want to come up with something that had a little bit of variety in it. So I do put some cheddar cheese in there, some fat-free cheddar, fat-free mozzarella, some Parmesan, Alfredo sauce. So that will be coming up soon. I don't know if I'll do that next. I think the next one I'm going to do is oatmeal that I had talked about in the Slimwin chat. And it's like the creamiest way to make oatmeal ever. So good. I will never make oatmeal the same way that I used to make it again. And I came up with a Bananas Foster oatmeal that was so good. I can't wait to share that. But there are also a million different varieties that you can do, and I'll share some of that when I do the oatmeal video. Anyway, did I finish that? So, yeah. But typically, if it's something I'm coming up with on my own, I will throw things together and try to remember to write down how much of everything I'm putting in. I don't always do that. So I have to drill it into my head that I'm doing this for a video, I'm trying to write up a recipe, you need measurements. So I try not to wing it, but I do tend to throw things together, see if it comes out well. And if it does, and Paul likes it, because that's my barometer. If Paul doesn't like it, I know it still needs work. So I will never share anything with you guys that Paul hasn't already approved. But yeah, so that's typically how I do my recipes. Either if it's something specific like the 5 cheese marinara, I'll research online, take bits and pieces out of all of these things and come up with my own thing, see if that works. And usually the first time it will. Sometimes I have to tweak it a little bit. But those were all of the questions. Unless any of you have any questions that you want to ask now, we did go over an hour because they can be long-winded. Oh, you're welcome, Kim. Hopefully you get a bunch more people joining over there and finding out how you are doing and what you are doing to stay on track. I think for all you're going through, you're doing well. But those are all of the questions. If anyone has anything they want to ask now that just occurred to them because of what I was saying, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we'll we will be wrapping this up. See, you get to see all the unedited stuff in these lives. I can't shield you from all of the, at least my jaw's working fairly well. My throat's not tightening up, so that's a plus. But at 56 years old, who thought my life would be, I know. You'd think at our age, we'd be calming down a little bit, Kim. So Sharon is asking where everyone is from. She's from California. Kim's in St. Louis. Nikki, yes, I know Nikki's in the UK. You're very welcome, Jan. All right, so I guess I won't keep. Oh, you're welcome, Ro. I appreciate all of you guys joining me, hanging out with me, letting me ramble. Oh, thank you, Bernadette. But I guess I shouldn't keep it Laurel, Mississippi. Now, you don't mean like small town Laurel, do you, Denise? Because I am in love with that place. If that is Laurel, Mississippi, right? Thank you, Sharon. Oh, believe me, I've been tempted to, oh, Denise, I'm so jealous. I love that couple. I love the town, what I've seen of it. I have actually thought I would love to just get rid of our house and move down there. I don't know if I could deal with the heat, but I just love that town. So I'm so jealous. Believe me, I would love to. I mean, everything I've seen on Hometown just makes it. I mean, they themselves seem so warm and welcoming. Everyone, yeah. See, that's what I couldn't deal with. So I definitely need central air. All right, let's all move to Laurel, build it up. We can be on Hometown, get our homes made over to something we want. Well, I'm glad that you asked where everyone was from, Sharon, because I would not have known Denise was from Laurel. I am very impressed. Anyway, I've kept you guys long enough. I hope that you guys enjoyed this live. Give me a thumbs up if you did. I really appreciate you guys joining me. And we will be here again in 2 weeks. And hopefully I will have a bigger drop in weight than I have been, because I think I'm back on track. But even if I have a little derailment, a little detour, comes with the territory. So I'm not going to stress about it. I'm headed in the right direction, and that's all that matters. So I guess I will leave you there. And I hope that you guys come back in 2 weeks. Not 4, 2, for another live. And I don't know if I should do another Q&A, if you guys have any questions, if I should try that, or just come up with a topic. But anyways, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I am going to go try to do the same. So until next time, bye.